Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Podcast. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Hi there. Great to have you listening. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sarah. We create these podcasts to help you learn practical, everyday English.
That's right. If this episode helps you, please share it with your friends who are learning English.
Today, we're tackling a tricky but essential grammar topic. We're going to discuss how to use would in English.
Yes, would is one of those words that English learners find confusing because it has so many different uses.
Native speakers use would constantly in conversation, so understanding it is crucial for natural English.
This episode will teach you all the main uses of would with clear explanations and real conversation examples.
So, Mike, do you remember struggling with would when you were learning English?
Absolutely. I used to mix it up with will all the time. I'd say things like, I would go to the store tomorrow, when I meant I will go, and I never understood when to use would have versus just would.
That's so common. Notice how Mike just used would correctly several times. I would mix it up, I'd say, and I would go. These are different uses of would.
What about you, Sarah? Do you still find would challenging?
Sometimes, especially in complex conditional sentences. But I've learned that would appears in predictable patterns. Once you recognize these patterns, it becomes much easier.
It appears in predictable patterns. That's the key. Today, we'll teach everyone these patterns so would becomes natural and automatic.
Let's get started.
Mike, first, let's understand what would actually is.
Would is a modal verb, a helping verb that changes the meaning of the main verb.
Modal verbs include would, could, should, might, may, must, can, will.
Would is the past form of will, but it's not always about the past.
This is confusing for learners because would has many uses beyond simple past.
Basic structure, would plus base verb.
I would go, she would like, they would help.
Notice no to between would and the verb.
Wrong. I would to go. Right. I would go.
Contractions, I would becomes I'd.
You would to you'd, he would to he'd, we would to we'd.
Would not becomes wouldn't.
Now let's explore the different uses of would.
The most common use is for polite requests.
Would makes requests more polite than will.
Compare, will you help me versus would you help me?
Would you help me sounds much more polite and less demanding.
Common polite requests. Would you please?
Would you please close the door?
Would you mind? Especially polite.
Would you mind opening the window?
Note, after mind, use the ing form.
Would you like some coffee?
Would you like to join us for dinner?
Accepting or declining. Yes, I would, or I'd love to.
No, thank you. I wouldn't, or I'd rather not.
Let's practice this in a conversation. Sarah, would you like to grab lunch today?
I'd love to. Where would you like to go?
Would you mind trying that new Italian restaurant downtown?
Not at all. Would 12:30 work for you?
Perfect. See how natural that sounds?
Now let's discuss the second major use.
Would appears in hypothetical or imaginary situations.
These are situations that aren't real or haven't happened.
Second conditional structure. If plus past tense, would plus base verb.
If I had $1 million, I would travel the world.
The situation is imaginary. You don't have $1 million.
If I were you, I would take that job.
You're not me. This is hypothetical advice.
More examples. If it rained tomorrow, I would stay home.
If I won the lottery, I would quit my job.
If she called me, I would answer immediately.
If she called me, I would answer immediately.
Dreams and wishes. I would love to visit Paris.
This expresses a wish or desire.
I would prefer to work from home.
I would rather eat pizza than salad.
Would rather expresses preference.
Questions about hypothetical situations. What would you do if...
What would you do if you saw a celebrity?
Where would you go if you could travel anywhere?
Who would you invite to your dream dinner party?
Let's look at past hypotheticals.
For imaginary past situations, use would have plus past participle.
This discusses things that didn't happen in the past.
Third conditional, if plus past perfect, would have plus past participle.
If I had known, I would have come earlier.
You didn't know, so you didn't come earlier.
If she had called, I would have answered.
She didn't call, so you didn't answer.
If it had rained, I would have stayed home.
It didn't rain, so you didn't stay home.
Regrets. I would have studied harder if I'd known the test was so difficult.
I would have helped you if you'd asked.
Contraction. Would have becomes would've in speech.
Never write would of. That's incorrect. Always would have or would've.
Mixed feelings about the past. I would have gone, but I was sick.
I would have bought it, but it was too expensive.
Now let's discuss habitual past actions.
Would can describe repeated actions in the past.
When I was young, I would play outside every day.
This describes a past habit that no longer happens.
We would visit my grandparents every Sunday.
My father would tell us stories before bed.
Important. Would for past habits works only with action verbs.
You can't use would with state verbs like be, have, know, like.
Wrong. I would be happy as a child.
Right. I was happy as a child, or I used to be happy.
Used to works with all verbs. Would only with actions.
Compare I used to live in London. You can't say I would live in London.
But I would walk to work when I lived in London. That's fine.
Let's practice this in conversation.
What was your childhood like, Sarah?
Oh, I have such happy memories. My siblings and I would play in the backyard for hours. We would build forts and pretend we were explorers.
That sounds wonderful. Did you have any traditions?
Yes. Every Friday night, my mom would make pizza from scratch. We would help her roll the dough, and my dad would always rent a movie for us to watch together.
Those are beautiful memories. See how would describes those repeated past actions?
Now let's discuss indirect speech.
Would appears when reporting what someone said.
When we report speech, will changes to would.
Direct speech. She said, I will call you tomorrow.
Reported speech, she said she would call me tomorrow.
Direct, he said, I will help you.
Reported, he said he would help me.
This happens because we're moving back in time.
More examples. John told me he would be late.
She promised she would finish the report by Friday.
They said they would meet us at 7 p.m.
Questions in reported speech. He asked if I would join them.
She wondered whether I would like the movie.
Let's practice some real conversations.
Great idea. Mike, let's create a conversation using multiple would uses.
Perfect. I'll start. Sarah, I've been thinking, if I got a job offer in another city, what would you do?
Wow, that's a big question. Well, I'd miss you terribly, but I'd want you to take the opportunity if it's good for your career. Would you take it?
I'm not sure. I would love the new challenge, but I wouldn't want to leave all my friends here. When I was younger, I would jump at any opportunity without thinking, but now I'm more careful.
That's understandable. If I were you, I would make a pros and cons list. Would that help you decide?
It would, actually. Would you help me think through it?
Of course I would. That's what friends are for.
See how we used different types of would there?
Hypothetical situations, polite questions, preferences, and past habits.
Now let's do a conversation about a past situation.
Mike, I heard you missed the concert last night. What happened?
I know, I'm so disappointed. I would have gone, but my car broke down on the way there.
Oh no, if I'd known, I would have picked you up.
That's so kind. I tried calling you, but you didn't answer. If you had answered, I would have asked you for a ride.
I'm so sorry. My phone was on silent. I would have helped you in a heartbeat if I'd known.
I know you would have. It's okay. These things happen. At least the band said they would come back next year.
Perfect example of would have for past hypotheticals.
Now let's discuss common mistakes.
Let's address common errors learners make.
Mistake 1. Using would for definite future plans.
Wrong. I would go to the store tomorrow.
Right. I will go to the store tomorrow, or I'm going to the store tomorrow.
Use will or going to for definite future plans, not would.
Mistake 2. Would have instead of would have.
Wrong. I would have called you.
Right. I would have called you, or I would have called you.
This error comes from the pronunciation sounding like would of.
Mistake 3. Forgetting have in past hypotheticals.
Wrong. If I knew, I would call you when talking about the past. Right. If I had known, I would have called you.
Mistake 4. Using would with state verbs for past habits.
Wrong. I would be happy as a child. Right. I was happy as a child. Or I used to be happy as a child.
Mistake 5. Double modals.
Wrong. I can help you.
Right. I would be able to help you, or I could help you.
Never combine two modal verbs.
Now let's review everything.
Let's summarize all the uses of would.
Use 1. Polite requests. Would you please, would you mind, would you like?
Responses: I would, I'd love to, I wouldn't, I'd rather not.
Use 2. Hypothetical situations. If I had/were, I would. What would you do if? I would love to, I would prefer, I would rather.
Use 3. Past hypotheticals. If I had known, I would have done it if. Regrets and missed opportunities.
Use 4. Past habits. I would play, we would visit. Only with action verbs, not state verbs.
Use 5. Reported speech. She said she would. He promised he would. They told me they would.
Common mistakes to avoid: would for definite future, would of, missing have, state verbs in past habits, double modals.
Key structures: would plus base verb, would have plus past participle, would rather plus base verb.
Contractions: I'd, you'd, he'd, she'd, we'd, they'd, wouldn't, would have.
These cover the essential uses of would.
Let's summarize everything we've learned today.
We explained that would is a modal verb with multiple important uses.
We learned would for polite requests and offers, making our English sound more courteous.
We covered hypothetical and imaginary situations using the second conditional.
We discussed past hypotheticals with would have for things that didn't happen.
We learned would for describing past habits and repeated actions.
We covered reported speech and how will changes to would.
We practiced real conversations showing multiple uses of would naturally.
We identified common mistakes and how to avoid them.
Most importantly, we learned that would is essential for natural, fluent English.
Native speakers use would constantly, so mastering it makes your English sound much more natural.
Once you understand the patterns, would becomes automatic in your speech.
Now it's your turn to practice. Today's question is, create a sentence using would in any of the ways we discussed.
Please write your answer. For example, if I could travel anywhere, I would visit Japan. Hypothetical situation.
Or, when I was a student, I would study in the library every evening. Past habit.
Or, I would have called you yesterday, but my phone was dead. Past hypothetical.
Or, would you like to practice English with me? Polite offer.
Try different uses of would to practice all the patterns.
Remember, would appears in natural conversation constantly.
The more you practice, the more automatic it becomes.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode.
We hope this clears up the confusion about would and helps you use it confidently.
Keep practicing and don't be afraid to use would in your conversations.
We'll talk to you next time on English Podcast.
Keep learning. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.